In this video, we are counting down the top 10 war offense teams in all of Marvel Strike Force, plus a few honorable mentions to help you round out your top 12 war offense teams. And if you're ready to count them down with me, find that like button and let's go smash it.
ValleyFlyin.
Hello, Valley Maniacs. I am ValleyFlyin. I want to welcome you back to the ValleyFlyin channel. And war is a very, very important part of Marvel Strike Force. It's one of the places that you could team up with your alliance, have some strategy, and actually use a large majority of your roster. And in this video, we are counting down the top war offense teams that you're going to need to counter a lot of the top war defense teams in the meta right now. So without further ado, let's just go count them down now. We're going to divide this into tiers. I actually got 4 tiers, and there's actually only one team in the 4th tier. The rest are going to fall in that honorable mention that I'm going to mention after we're done with this countdown. So the only team in the 4th tier, along with the rest of the honorable mentions, is these guys, the Axemen. Yes, one of the top war offense teams, also very good on war defense, and they are a necessary team in Marvel Strike Force because they are probably the best solution for their Doom raids, the mutant section of the Doom raids. So you're going to need to build these guys anyway, and if you're using them, you're saving them on war offense, well, they could counter a lot of the meta teams, including the Secret Avengers. Pretty much any team that's going to have any minions or summoning any characters, well, they're going to be a great counter, like the Sinister Six, or if you still see the Asgardians every now and then, well, these are going to be a great counter for them as well. But one of the more meta and one of the more trickier teams out there, the New Warriors, these Axemen, they can counter them, so very, very good. And if you're seeing some hybrid X-Men teams, well, the Axemen, they could also counter them as well. And they've also countered the Black Order. I've used them to counter smaller Black Orders, more punch downs with that. But yes, Axemen, very, very good. And now we're moving on to the 3rd tier. There's a lot of great teams in this 3rd tier. I think you could switch up the place of any of these teams to any other position within that tier. But the 5 teams they're in, we're going to start off with this one right here, the Shadowlands. Now, this is one of the older meta teams. They could count at one point, they were the top war offense team, could counter pretty much everything. We've had a lot of more meta defense teams come to the game, but these guys still are a very, very good team on war offense. They do require a lot of T4s, so keep that in mind. If you do start to build these guys, you don't have them built up yet. But they can also counter the New Warriors, a very, very tricky war defense team. They can counter the Uncanny X-Men, who's probably a little better on war offense, but I still see them on war defense for people that I guess have extra teams. Teams with Silver Surfer Inhumans, but I think the best thing that they can counter, obviously, is the old Marauders team, but they can counter their Doom. Doom with the Mercs. That is another combo that I'm seeing every now and then. So yes, if you're seeing them, Shadowlands, build them up. They could counter that, and they could counter a lot of the non-meta teams as well. So Shadowlands is still a great, great war offense team coming in at 3rd tier. Also coming in at 3rd tier is one of the newer war offense teams in the Ravagers. Star-Lord T'Challa and the reworks to all these minions, these Ravagers, kind of transformed this team, giving them a lot of synergy, giving them a lot of teams that they can counter some of the top war defense teams in the game. And a lot of it is because of the kit of Star-Lord T'Challa. He just does a lot. He can steal. All of these Ravagers steal effects. They can steal ability, energy, a lot of cool stuff. And the New Warriors, like I said, they can counter these guys very well. If you're seeing the Uncanny X-Men, these guys are a great counter for that as well. And if you're seeing the old Doom Hood, the Brotherhood plus Doom combo, these guys are a great counter to that as well. Plus a lot of these other non-meta teams. So Ravagers, they are a very, very strong war offense team. I'm not seeing a lot of use for these guys outside of war offense, but if you're specifically building war offense, Ravagers is a very, very good team that you're going to want to build. All right, another older war offense team that was part of the meta a long time ago and are still a very important counter to a lot of the war meta defense teams is this XFactor. The multiple man Polaris Shatterstar Longshot and a 5th in this one, and I think the best version of the best 5th for this team is Baron Zemo, because that allows them to counter a lot more teams like the Doom Marauders or Doom Hood. They can even counter a very small Young Avengers, and when I say small, one that isn't scaled up with these massive million-powered Young Avengers, but a smaller one, maybe around 500, maybe up to 600, but other than that, these guys are going to struggle with that. But they can also counter the New Warriors, and if you're countering someone like the Doom Hood that has that Magneto, you're going to want to bring in someone like Rhino to clear those negative effects. So these guys are still in there. I love using these guys on the Doom Marauders. And Namor is another fifth that I want to mention there, but there's a lot of great fifths that you could use on this team. And you could counter a lot of great war defense meta teams with this XFactor. So that extra speed, that barrier from Longshot and Shatterstar just does wonders for that team. So very good on war offense. Moving on to the next team is the Secret Avengers. And the Secret Avengers also is in that third tier of this war offense teams. Very good. The version that we have here does have Nick Fury, does have Kestrel. And I see this team a lot on war defense, but like we mentioned previously, teams like the Axemen or some of these other teams, they can counter them pretty good. So I think they're better on war offense, but some people still place them on war defense. Now, they can counter teams like the Infinity Watch. Yes, the all-powerful Arena Infinity Watch. These guys are a great counter to them. They can also counter the Web Warriors, who can be a little tricky because that battle does rely on RNG a lot. So these guys, you're gonna need to get some RNG because those Web Warriors, they can dodge. They have a large dodge chance, but the Secret Avengers, they can counter the Web Warriors. They could also counter the combination, the Mercenary Doom combo. It's another great combination that these guys can counter. Doom Hood, the one with the Brotherhood and Dr. Doom. And of course, these guys can counter the Black Order. So some of the older the older arena teams, these guys are able to counter. Those Secret Avengers, very strong. War defense, war offense are great on both, but I think they're better on war offense, like I said, because of the summons from Nick Fury and Maria Hill. And then moving on is the New Warriors. Now, the New Warriors, they can counter a lot of the meta teams, and I'm seeing them a lot more on war defense than war offense, but they do counter to one of the more important war defense teams in the Young Avengers. And this version, the Silver Surfer with Hela version of the New Warriors, they can counter some larger Young Avengers. So if you're seeing those annoying Squirrel Girls and Chavez and Kate Bishop and Echo, well, this is a great team to use against them. They could even punch up slightly against that team. So great counter with the New Warriors, very good. But moving on to the second tier, we got 3 teams in this tier that can counter some very good teams. And moving on to the first team in tier 2 are these guys, the Eternals. Now, there's a lot of different combos that you could do with the Eternals. You could use the Speed Eternals that feature Cable and Emma Frost and Loki, or you could use some other combos of the Eternals, but pretty much whatever you're going to use, these guys are going to shine in. And if you're if you see some Eternals that are placed on defense, well, one of the best counters for those Eternals is the mirror match of the Eternals versus the Eternals. So very good counter for that. Eternals were designed to counter the Infinity Watch in Arena, and they can also do that on War offense as well. If you're seeing a War defense Infinity Watch, you could verse a smaller Young Avengers. You're going to need some of these speed, faster characters to help them with that. They could also counter the New Warriors as well. So Eternals pretty much shines in every single game mode, and War offense is no exceptions. Build them if you can, and build their counterparts like those speed characters like we mentioned. All right, moving on to the next team, and these are the past Arena meta, the Infinity Watch, and they can counter a lot of the meta right now. They could do those Infinity Watch versus Infinity Watch mirror matches if you're still seeing the Infinity Watch on defense. They could counter the Speed Eternals, so if someone has placed a Cable and Emma Frost on defense with Loki. Well, these guys are the counter to that. Even America Chavez version of those speed turtles with the extra speed from the passive of America Chavez. Well, Infinity Watch is a proper counter for that as well. If you see Weapon X on War defense, they are a very good War offense team, but some people still place the Weapon X on defense. Infinity Watch counters them as well. And yeah, you got to punch down a lot, but they can counter those dirty, evil, trashy heroes for a hire. So they get a win in my book. They get a thumbs up in my book. Now, who also can counter those dirty heroes for a hire, this time with a punch up, is the Dark Hunters. Now, the full Dark Hunters team, as of me recording this, is not in Marvel Strike Force yet. Dr. Voodoo's offer did came out. His event does not take place as of me recording this, and Morbius is not in Marvel Strike Force yet, but based on theory crafting, based on what we've seen from the devs, we know that these guys are able to counter heroes for hire. They're gonna struggle a little bit against the Young Avengers, so this is not the Young Avengers counter that you wanna bring, but heroes for hire and pretty much anything short of heroes for hire, these guys are gonna be able to beat. Maybe not the Young Avengers, but anything else, these guys are going to be able to beat. Very, very strong War offense team. They're going to be the tier slightly below the top War offense team in the game, and that is these guys. No surprise, it is the Weapon X team. Trauma from Omega Red. We got all that damage from Wolverine, that turn me to rewind from Lady Deathstrike. A lot of good stuff. We got that extra taunt, all that damage from Silver Samurai, as well. So yes, I love this team, and they counter one of the dirtiest teams in the game, the Heroes for Hire, and any team that counters for Hero Hire gets a big thumbs up from me. But they could also do those Weapon X mirror matches if you're seeing someone placing Weapon X on War defense, and they could sort of get, they can counter the weapon, they can counter the Young Avengers. They're not going to be able to counter the Young Avengers as easily as the Heroes for Hire, as according to the devs, but they are supposed to be able to counter the Young Avengers. And that is it for the top 10. Let me know how your top 10 shaped out. I do want to mention a couple honorable mentions, and if you were scoring this honorable mentions, they are going to be in that 4th tier, so I guess depending on who you're seeing on defense, kind of interchangeable with the Axemen at that number 10 spot. So coming in for honorable mentions, I do want to mention Black Order. They've fallen off hard. They're not able to counter as many teams, but they do deserve a mention. The Uncanny X-Men with Magic, very, very good team, and they're one of the more recent War offense teams. They are able to counter a lot. And let's not forget the old X-Force team with the combination of Negasonic and X-23. So very, very good teams there, guys. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know what your top 10 is and what you have as far as honorable mentions. I will see you guys next time. We stream every single weekday morning, guys. So come join the Valley Club in the morning on Twitch. Do that every morning, like I said. And we got at least 5 Marvel Strike Force videos per week on this channel. So if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get all of those videos. If you enjoyed this video and it was helpful for you, hit that thumbs up button and hit that notification bell. I will see you guys next time. Check out some of the sponsors down below. Amazon Coins is a way that you can save up to 20% off on any of your in-game purchases. BlueStacks, that is my emulator of choice, and we got a lot of great other sponsors down below, guys. I'll see you guys next time, though. Have a great rest of your day. Give me that Hulk fist bump before you go, and stay safe. ValleyFlyin out.